Hi, I'm Ethan Weiner from Real Traps, and this is my living room home theater. It's been a number of years since the last time I did a tour of this room. It was to show how to set up a home theater and how to place speakers and reflection panels. And this is going to be a slightly different theme. I'm interested in showing that you can have a state-of-the-art theater for not a whole lot of money. I've seen people spend literally $5,000, $10,000 per loudspeaker, or in this case, much, much more, and tens of thousands of dollars on gear and power conditioners and heavy wires and multi-thousand watt power amplifiers. And you don't need all that to have a really, really good home theater. There's a saying, you can have it good, cheap, or fast. Pick any two. The acoustic equivalent of that is you can have effective, affordable, or hidden, or attractive. Pick any two. But really, the point is that you can have a very, very good quality home theater without spending a whole lot of money. I happen to like the look of these panels. I have a recording studio background, so I'm used to seeing acoustic treatment. But it really doesn't bother me. I like the look, and I don't think it looks bad. I think it actually looks kind of cool. Not that I don't care about appearance. I put backlights behind some of the panels to add a nice ambiance with this variable transformer dimmer controlling the brightness. I also have transformer dimmers for the main ceiling lights. Unlike solid-state dimmers, variable transformers don't create buzzing interference with audio gear. But for people that don't want to see acoustic treatment, you can hide it behind false walls. You can put wall hangings and curtains. And there's many things you can do. People spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, and some of them are absolutely beautiful, as you can see in these photos. If you have the money for that and this is what you want, then that's fine. But most of us have normal budgets and normal living rooms. So I just want to highlight some of the features of this room, if you will. I'll also mention that this room is 25 feet front to back by 16 feet wide. The ceiling is 8 feet high at the front and rear, rising to 11 feet high in the center halfway back. This is all really modest gear. Even though I own the company, I still have more invested in acoustic treatment than in all of my other gear put together. These are Mackie HR624 loudspeakers. These have power amps in them. They're bi-amped, so there's a separate power amp for the woofer and a separate one for the tweeter, so that receiver doesn't have to also power all the speakers. That has 100 watts per channel times 6 channels, but the only speakers that I have that are not powered are the rear surrounds. Those are passive. It was just easier than running line level signals to the back of the room and running AC power to them. This receiver is a few years old. It's a Pioneer. I paid all of $150 for it at Costco, and it's excellent. It has very good specs. You could spend thousands of dollars on a more expensive receiver, and you might get some more features, and some people want more speakers. There are 6.1, 7.1, and other standards coming out, but I'm happy with a regular 5.1. But to complement these speakers, I have a killer SVS subwoofer in the corner. It's got twin 12s, and it's flat 3 dB down at 18 hertz, and it's very, very powerful, and it will shake the whole room, and that takes a lot of the load off the main speakers. I also have a nice karaoke setup. I used to do mastering for Music Minus One, the karaoke division, and I have hundreds and hundreds of karaoke CDs, so I bought a karaoke player, and that's connected to the TV set, and I have a microphone and a really nice Mackie PA speaker, so you can hear what you're singing. This TV is several years old. It's a 65-inch rear projection, old school TV. Since then, I've got this 159-inch screen. I also have a laptop computer. I have a music server on there that has all my favorite tunes that I can play through this system. And I also have mixed some music productions, done surround mixing in here. I have a home recording studio, but it's just stereo 2-channel. And when I want to do surround mixing, I have the software to do that. So I do it in this room and pull that table up right up to the couch and just sit there and I can mix. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the acoustic treatment in this room since it's so important. It really is. The most important thing that you would expect from your gear, your receiver, and your speakers and your subwoofer and your Blu-ray player, is that it have a flat frequency response, that it have low noise, and low distortion. And those are really how audio fidelity is defined. But the room often adds its own quality to everything you hear, and you really want to have a neutral room, and that is done typically with absorption. And the absorption goes at some key places. One is the reflection points, which are on the side walls, and there's another one on the other side matching. And that's about halfway between the seating and the loudspeakers. The floor is also a reflection point. Sound comes out of the speaker, hits the floor and comes up. The carpet helps. It's not as good as a real acoustic panel, but you can't put acoustic panels on the floor. And there's also acoustic panels on the ceiling, also at the reflection points about halfway between the speakers. And some sound does go up and gets back to the seating a little bit later. And you want to avoid that. You want to get rid of those reflections. And there's bass traps in the corners. That's a mondo trap and a tri-corner trap above. And there are other panels in the ceiling corners. There's 44 different panels in this room, and we'll see the back of the room in just a moment. There are a couple other things I should mention. One is I have a blackout shade here. During the day in the summer, sometimes light comes in through the kitchen, which is on the other side of the shade. So I bought this from one of those custom shade places. It was like $50, not even. And that pulls down and it makes it easy to make this room completely black. I also did blackouts behind the other window shades here. Again, only for watching during the summer. In the winter, it gets dark early, and usually we watch movies at night. Some of my home theater friends laugh at me because I have all these separate remotes. But I've had universal remotes, and I've seen some of the really fancy ones with lighted screens, and I don't want that. I can find each of these remotes in the dark, and I can work them perfectly just by touch without looking. So this is my Mitsubishi projector. A lot of times people mount them from the ceiling, but it was just a lot easier just to put it on a big speaker stand. And I ran a HDMI wire around the perimeter along the floor. And the back of the room here has bass traps in the ceiling corners. And these are mega traps. These are 2-foot units. They stack up 8 feet high. And this is the largest bass trap that Real Trap sells. They're very effective. And the whole point of bass traps is not only to have a flat, low-frequency response, but also to get rid of ringing in the room. Ringing is a tendency for some bass notes to linger even after the sound has stopped coming out of the speaker. And on the walls here are diffusers. And this is sometimes a showroom when we have customers occasionally come by, and potential customers. So I have 2 different color diffusers here. The diffusers break up the reflections from the back wall, but without absorbing and making the room dead. Even though there are 44 panels in this room, the sound is absolutely not too dead. It's a neutral room. It's a very clear sounding room. One of the great things is you can be watching a really loud movie, an action scene, or listening to a music concert at realistic levels, and you can still easily talk to the person next to you on the couch because everything is so clear, and you can tell where everything is coming from all the speakers, left, right, center, surrounds. Everything is very well localized and extremely clear. Dialogue is absolutely clear. Over the years, I've had various absorbers on the couch. The ideal seating wouldn't even come up behind your head. A lot of home theater seats, they go up really high and they're leather and reflective, and that really puts very damaging reflections right behind your head. It's a lot better to not have anything behind your head at all, but if there is something, or if you want to slouch down, at least having something very thick and absorbent helps. I've had a variety of treatments on my couches here. At one point I had a doubled up bath towel, and then I made a very thick, 1-inch thick cover that covered the entire back of the front couch, made from 1-inch thick batting. It was actually 1/2-inch thick batting doubled over, and what's called baby fabric, a very, very soft fabric. And then Real Traps came out with these seat covers for a short while. They didn't sell that well, so we stopped making them, but I still have them, and they're very effective, and it really makes a difference. And there's an article on the Real Trap site that shows actually a measured frequency response with and without this type of cover on the couch behind your ears. And it really does make a difference in clarity and imaging. Also, the doorbell is at the other side of the house, so I bought a wireless doorbell, and that's right over here on top of this surround speaker, so we can hear when the pizza delivery guy comes. Finally, I can't emphasize enough how full and clear this system sounds, even at very high volume levels. Most people equate powerful audio systems with huge tower loudspeakers and kilowatts of amplifier power. But between the powerful SVS subwoofer and bi-amped professional studio monitors, we can achieve realistic live concert volume levels here without having to fill the living room with expensive audio gear. Coupled with the acoustic treatment, this is as close as you'll get to state-of-the-art sound in a modest-sized living room.